Chapter 2 Time to Myself. With the amount of time I've spent with both Celestia and Luna, it's no wonder a string bond was made. We trusted each other, we were there for each other, and we always spent time together. Up until a few months into my life in Equestria, at least one of my sisters was always close by, so when they both had to leave for a royal gathering in a foreign land, I was left to my own devices, with neither of them in close proximity. I could take care of myself, there was no questioning that, but those two were the only ones that I was really close with. Sure, there was Blue Blood, but he was kept busy with keeping up public appearances. The last time I tried to join him in one of his parties, everyone thought I was his pet or some kind of freak. It's safe to say I didn't want to go through that again. The only reason I was able to get through it was because Blue, Fancy, and Fleur were there to help me through it. I still have a few friends around the castle. Some of the maids are pretty friendly and like to talk, and some of the guards are pleasant enough. And the chefs are always willing to give me cooking lessons whenever they're available. Although they aren't really close friends like Celestia and Luna. It looked as if I was just going to have to keep myself entertained while they were gone. I could have gone to visit Twilight and everyone else in Ponyville, but there were still things I had to do around the castle, like making sure the maids stayed out of the cookie jars and cake stands. Hey, someone's got to do it. The second I take my eyes off a maid named Glowwing Heart, she was always trying to swipe a few chocolate chip cookies from the princess's personal stash. If too many went missing, they'd notice. I won't lie, I took a few out of the stashes myself. Trick is to make sure you can replace the cookies you steal before anyone can notice. With nothing to do, I went to the place that I went to when I needed to think. My spot on the mountainside. Staring out at the open landscape helps to calm my nerves. I may be able to take care of myself, but I don't like being too far away from those I care about. After my parents died, my sister went missing. So I had developed a few abandonment issues over the years. So I just sat with my knees hugged close to my chest while I looked up at the sky, taking in slow breaths as I tried to rid myself of negative emotions. Sure, Luna could visit me in my dreams if she so wished, but we had learned pretty quickly that it was extremely difficult for her to enter my dream world, as my energy wasn't tied to Equestria's magical environment or something. There were a few confusing words squatted in the explanation. So whenever she tried to enter my dreams, it took a lot out of her, and she needs her energy for the other ponies in Equestria, and for the meetings at the gathering. I didn't want her to push herself. It's strange. Back on Earth, I was perfectly fine with being alone, but for some odd reason, I was having these feelings. What happened to me when I was brought here? Or was it that these ponies have had such a huge influence on me and it's changed my personality slightly? I didn't know the answer then, and I don't know it now. My time here has just been one huge roller coaster of emotions. I just sat there, as if I was waiting for something interesting to happen, or for something to fall out of the sky, whatever would take my mind off my emotions. Unfortunately for me, nothing happened. Everything was peaceful. It was at that point that I started to grow hungry, and that was something I could use to distract myself. So I made my way down the small tunnel to the Canterlot Gardens, ready to head towards the kitchens, when all of a sudden I heard rustling in the trees. I stopped to look around. Everything had gone quiet. I would have just walked away like nothing ever happened, but I had figured out early on that this world was full of cliches. I knew the second I walked away, whoever or whatever was in the trees would poke their head out and quickly run away. With that thought in mind, I slowly turned away and began to walk back toward the castle, hearing the leaves shift again before the sound of footsteps could be heard, growing fainter as the one watching me ran away. I merely rolled my eyes and made a mental note to be on the lookout for anything strange. Although, with how weird Equestria was, it was difficult to see strange things as anything other than the norm. Well, it was something else to focus on anyway, and for that I was thankful. If it's some kind of group looking to kidnap me, there are hundreds if not thousands of guards about the castle in Canterlot, so I think it would be seen. Surprisingly, the military here was just awful. The soldiers and guards could hardly handle themselves. It took a while, but I managed to convince Celestia to give more funding toward the training that the guards received so they could actually stop a threat and not be total cannon fodder. If it was just some curious foals or full-grown ponies, I'd be fine with that. I figured they was most likely the Cutie Mark Crusaders in the trees. They do tend to just kind of show up with some crazy scheme to have fun or whatever else their little imaginative brains could think up. There was no need to call out to whoever was running, so I just kept walking until I reached the back entrance of the castle. I opened the door before taking one last look outside, before slipping inside. Personally, I was just glad that something might actually happen. I had heard the stories of the beings the ponies had faced before. While interested in the subject, I wouldn't want to come face to face with the likes of Tirek. There was still the uncomfortable feeling of being watched, of course, but I was sure that whatever was stalking me wasn't dangerous.